Diana, thank you so much for joining us today. Sturgis East and West partner for their fall play, and this year you guys are doing Big Fish. Tell me a little bit about Big Fish and the story.
Yeah, so Big Fish and the movie Big Fish are both based on the novel. And so most people, I think, know the movie fairly well. So it's another adaptation of that story with a few minor changes. So it's the story of Edward Bloom and his son Will. It's essentially a story of a son trying to get to know his father before he has his own child. And so Will really struggles with that because Edward's whole life is these fantastical stories. So if you have seen the movie, you might remember the one about the witch who shows him how he's going to die, the circus that he worked at in order to try and meet the love of his life, Sandra. So Will, Edward's son, just spends most of the musical trying to sort through these stories as he becomes aware that his father is really ill and probably going to pass before his son is born. So really just trying to get to know his father and know the real father so that he can be a father himself.
Interesting. Now this is a musical this year, what extra things do you have to do in order to do it? I feel like a musical, I mean, a play, it's minus the dancing, minus the singing, it's still difficult. But then when you add in the singing and the dancing, I mean, is that an added? Oh
yeah, so many things get added. Thankfully, we have a lot more people on the team to help with that.
Nice.
So my co-advisor, Anna Botsford, who is the stage advisor at West, she's taking on more of the production and technical side of things for this show. We also have Michelle Colley, who's our choreographer, so she's taking care of all of the dancing. Rosemary Gentile is our music director, so she's doing more of the choral work, so teaching our students the music and how they should be singing it and their vocal parts. And then Natalie Sheeler is directing the pit orchestra, so she's our music teacher at East. So it's really a bigger team because it requires so many other moving parts, and that's really the big challenge with a musical.
Yeah, it's like so much. So you're going to be performing over the weekend of November 17th, 18th, and 19th at Four Seas. Tell me a little bit about what we can expect, where at Four Seas it will be.
Sure. So we'll be performing at the Tilden Art Center at Four Seas. This will be our third performance there. We really love working with the staff at Four Seas. It's a super convenient location for us and for all of our families who want to come see the show. So we've had really good experiences, and we really value that relationship there. As far as what you'll see, we are really playing on some of the great stuff with the circus. Jay Stewart is one of the parents of our students, and he has a lot of experience with that, so he's actually come in and taught our students a lot of juggling and other kinds of circus tricks like that. So that's something fun to look out for. We're hoping just for a lot of color and kind of fantastical magic realism, just really getting to know the characters through all of the stories like that.
That's so wonderful. If people are watching and they're interested in coming to see the show, can they get tickets ahead of time? Will they be able to get tickets at the door? Let us know about how.
Yes, so both options are totally great. To order your tickets ahead of time, you'll email StageTix, so it's STAGETIX at sturgischarterschool.org. Just tell us how many seats you want, and if they're for adults or students, and we'll let you know how much that'll cost, and you can pick them up at the show, or you can come straight to the door at Four Seas prior to the performance.
And what time is it on the 17th, 18th, and 19th?
So there are 2 7 o'clock shows on the Friday and the Saturday, and 2 p.m. shows on Saturday and Sunday.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in and letting us know all about that. Now we're going to hear from some of the students that are participating in this year's production.
Great.
I'm joined by Thea Goldman and David Girardin. They are two of the actors that are performing in Sturgis Stage's performance of Big Fish, which is happening at Cape Cod Community College. So you guys are both acting in it, but Thea, you are also doing set design. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I play Sandra, who's his wife in the younger scenes, because we split up the two main characters as younger or older.
Okay.
And I'm also doing set design, so I drew out a bunch of backdrops, and then they're on 6x6 rollers that are then now being painted. So I do that sometimes on Wednesdays, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I do the acting.
The acting part, yeah. How about you, David?
I'm just doing the acting, it's a musical, so it's acting, singing, and dancing. So
wonderful.
But I'm playing Edward Bloom, and it's the lead role, but we're splitting it, like she said, between an older and a younger version of himself. So I play the older version of Edward Bloom, and I just acted.
Yeah, and you guys are both seniors, so have you participated in other plays at Sturgis?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
This is I've been doing it for the past 2 years. I didn't do it freshman year, but then I got into it sophomore year.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys really enjoy doing that part of, getting involved in that part of it.
Yes, it's very fun, and it's a really nice community.
Yeah.
Like, all of my friends are involved in theater in some way or another.
Awesome.
And, yeah.
Very cool. Now, if there was anybody that's, going to Sturgis and is like, oh, I'm thinking about maybe doing it, but I'm unsure, would you tell them just do it? It's so much fun, or?
Yeah, just do it. I mean, it's a huge time commitment, but it's all worth it because you end up with like it's like the final few days are just so much fun when you're actually performing it, and it's like adrenaline rush, and it's just awesome. I love it.
And I would also definitely recommend people to start freshman year because both Thea and I started as sophomores, and I just wish I could have started earlier.
From the beginning.
Yeah, like I feel like I missed out on a bunch.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit more about Big Fish. Is it based on the movie of the same name?
They're both based on the same book.
Okay, it's a
but
book.
Since the movie came out first, a lot of it does come from the movie.
The movie, yeah. I remember the movie I saw it a long time ago. It's very fantastical.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so was that some of the set design? You do take some of that into account?
Yeah, so like, for example, part of the show involves like an entire like army of daffodils, sort of. So I had to design like backdrops that are just like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of daffodils. And also like there's a circus, and it's just all very sort of magic realism, and it's super it's super fantastical, like you said.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about it.
No problem.
Now I'm joined by Kaitlyn Davis and Tory Mondello. They're also students at Sturgis and participating in this year's Big Fish play. Kaitlyn, you're the dance captain, so tell me a little bit about some of maybe the dance parts of the show and what you had to do to, prepare for that.
Sure. So I've been working with Michelle Colley, who's the choreographer for the show, and a lot of the elements that we've been trying to incorporate have roots in jazz, tap, modern, and even a little bit of clogging in one of the main scenes that includes the entire cast. So basically what I've had to be doing as the dance captain is I have to remember all the choreography to work with the kids who miss rehearsal or need help on a specific part. So It's been fun.
That's also a lot of responsibility, making sure that everybody's up to speed on the dance. Maybe not everybody has a background in dance, so is there a little bit of like helping people, learn the steps a little bit?
Right. So high schoolers is a little different than working with younger kids because younger children build the muscle memory in dance. So we have to go and really work things from the beginning and go slowly with them, but everyone's getting it pretty solidly at this point, so it's really good.
That's awesome. And Tory, you're the assistant director. This is your first time directing a play, or?
I directed another short piece a couple years back with one of the seniors when I was a sophomore, Julia Adams, who is now in college. But this is my first time working with an adult director and actually working beside them to help create their vision, which is really cool.
Yeah. Have you acted before?
Yes, I've acted in like 3, I think, of Stages productions now, and done tech and a bunch of other ones. It's been a really good experience.
Yeah, so you felt like you really had that background to kind of step into and help assistant direct the play this year.
Yeah.
So Big Fish, that's kind of like I was talking with the other two about. It's a kind of fantastical story. What has been your favorite part so far about bringing this story to life?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, my favorite part is the dance that I was talking about before, which is the Alabama Stomp, which includes the entire cast. It's just kind of like a really magical scene and everyone's doing it at the same time, and the sounds are just really, I don't know, it goes really well with the music. It's really fun.
Yeah, how about you, Tory?
My favorite part so far has been the witch scene where the main character, Edward, meets with this witch and she tells him how he's going to die in the future. And it's really cool. We do a lot of dancey stuff. The dances are very arm heavy and you move around a lot, but I like that it's the first story that we're really introduced to with Edward, and it kind of gets us really immersed in the stories.
Wonderful. What's been how long have you been involved with stage at Sturgis? Like your entire time? Did you just join?
Last year was actually my first year. I know Tori's been doing it longer since.
This is my 6th show with stage.
Oh, wow.
But I think that I've heard Thea and David both say that they wish they had started in freshman year, which is definitely a really accurate thing for me as well. I feel like I missed out on a lot of the stuff that I hadn't been involved with.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How about you, Tory?
I started freshman year, not with the first show, with the second show, and I do wish I had done the first show, but I think with other people, especially Thea, David, and Kaitlyn. I started before them, and I really do honor those experiences. It's been awesome. You build the friendship with people.
Wonderful. Thank you guys both so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.